Hey guys, welcome back to the Out Jeeping YouTube channel. My name's Austin, and in today's video, we're going to be doing a little preventative maintenance on this 3.6 Pentastar engine that's in this 2018 Jeep Grand Cherokee. We're going to be replacing the PVC valve. It's fairly simple, so let's get started. Alright, so taking a look at the engine bay here, once again we have a 3.6 liter V6 Pentastar engine. It's found in a lot of Jeep, Chrysler, and Dodge vehicles. This one here being a 2018 Jeep Grand Cherokee. And this motor right here has around 70,000 miles on it. And today, by doing a little preventative maintenance, we're going to be replacing the PVC valve. Now the PVC valve is commonly forgotten about, but it actually has an important role in making your engine run efficiently. Now the duty of a PVC valve is actually to vent all of the positive crankcase gases and pressures that build up while your engine's running inside that crankcase where the oil is, and it actually sends it directly back into the intake manifold and it gets reburned into the engine. Now over time, if you have a higher mile vehicle, you might have some issues if that PVC valve goes bad. You might have sputtering, rough idle, misfire, and such. That's because these can often get clogged up with oil, and that's its primary purpose, is to separate any of the positive gases that come out of the crankcase and separates that from the oil. But over time, that can get clogged up with oil, and it could be stuck closed or stuck open, and then you're sending all that oil, mist, and everything back into the intake, and then it can start causing some real issues where it gums up injectors, spark plugs, and build up a bunch of carbon in your engine to where it's not running efficiently. So this engine has about 70,000 miles. Normally you don't have to really replace them until they're like 100,000 or 150, depending on your vehicle and manufacturer specs. I'm going to replace it early on here just to be a little preventative maintenance, since I just replaced spark plugs and I want to keep everything nice and clean in the combustion chamber. So the part that we're going to replace today is by Mopar. This only runs about 20 bucks. They're fairly cheap. I got this one from the dealer since I was getting some other dealer parts, but some other name brand ones are just as the same price, so I just went with the Mopar one right here. Now in replacing this part right here, it is going to be pretty simple. We have to remove a couple things, but it is kind of located in a weird spot. So it's actually located on the passenger side back of the engine over here where my hand is. So we're going to have to remove our cover right here, and then we pretty much should be able to get in that back corner and undo it and then throw in the new one. So without further ado, I'm going to get started on removing this cover. We got this piece right here, and then we got a hidden 10mm bolt holding this down. Now once that's removed, these are basically just going to be pushed on, so we're going to lift up in each corner and pop this guy off. There we go. Now over on the back of the engine on the passenger side, we can see right here, this is where our PCV valve is located. I just noticed I've been saying that wrong. PVC, PCV. They're very similar but different products, but I know I misspoke, but it should be PCV, positive crankcase ventilation. But anyway, this is where it's located. Right up here on top, this is our PCV hose, and that's going to be basically following all the way up to where our intake manifold is on the front of the manifold. That's where it's going to connect into. So now to remove this old one, we have to remove that hose. And it's fairly simple. We just have to push in on that white clip and then pull up. Push in like so, and then gently pull up. Once that's pushed in, that'll pop up like so. You can see a little oil residue on that. And we're just going to set that up to the side, out of the way. Now you'll see the letters right here that shows you how to remove it. PCV removal. So we just have to rotate the valve that's screwed into the back right here. We're going to rotate it to the left if you're looking from the front. And before we do that, there is going to be a locking tab right here that we're just going to have to pry out. Sometimes this may break because it's just so brittle, but that's going to break on the old PCV valve itself, so it shouldn't be a big deal. I'm going to try and push that back with my thumb, see if that wants to move, and then rotate to the left at the same time to basically unlock it. So we can pry that back, rotate to the left. There it goes. continue to rotate that to the left until it stops, and then we're going to push directly back, and then it should pop out of place. And there we go. That is our old one right there. Alright, so with that old one out, we have the new one side by side right next to it. Before we install it, we want to make sure we have the same exact part, so that way everything fits correctly. Mine looks pretty much the same. You might notice that the holes are going to be a little bit different sizes. That's because when you installed it, this gasket right here actually gets pushed in and rolled, and it expands to the size of the connection point of where this goes into. If you look closely on this old one, you can see that's rolled in, and then you can take your thumb on here, and you can slightly push this where it's going to move and conform to whatever shape of that new connection is going to be. So we're going to leave it like it is out of the box for now until we get in there, and once we push that in, it's going to conform and seal up nice and tight. Alright, so we got our new one. I'm going to take a little bit of oil from in here and just put it on this gasket right here, so that way everything rotates nicely. Now I'm going to put the new one in the orientation that the old one came off. I'll gently push it all the way in. Then once that bottoms out, we're going to rotate it to the right if you're looking for the front, to where that tube is sticking straight up. And then we should hear it snap into place. There we go. So that's nice and tight in there. Then the last step we have to do is take our PCV hose and then just slide it on top and click that into place. There we go. Now the last thing I'll do is just put on our engine cover, and then we should be done. So we can set our engine cover back on, push in all four corners. They'll hear it snap in. Then we can put our 10mm bolt back into place. Alright, now we're all wrapped up. Alright, so before we wrap this video up, I did want to show you guys some new accessories you can get for your Jeep Grand Cherokee. One of them right here being a full seat cover for your Jeep Grand Cherokee, the front row and rear seat. Now this is sold by a seller on Amazon by Carvoto, and the brand on these seat covers is Hudasaurus. They sent these out for me to take a look at and throw on the Jeep and tell you guys what I feel about them. So we're going to take a look at these quick, and right off the bat I can tell you it's a nice big package that this comes in. It has a nice carrying case where it has all these in there. So I'm going to pop this open, take a look at all the seat covers, and then we're going to go over to the Jeep, clean it up a little bit, and throw these on and see how they look. Right off the bat I can say this is actually pretty nice. I'm surprised. This almost feels like real leather. It doesn't feel too cheap at all. It actually has some nice foam on here too, so it's going to give you a little bit more of a nice comfortable ride too. So let's get this all out of here. Alright, so we got the full-blown interior package right here. We got pretty much everything to cover up all the upholstery. We got our front seats right here. We got our two back pieces. We got our two bottom pieces. We even got a center console cover, which is pretty nice because you know those wear out a lot with elbows on there, or if you have dogs that jump up and dig their nails in, so that's definitely going to help protect that. Now we got our rear seat over here. This is a 40/60 style standard split rear seat, which most vehicles have. So you got your back and fronts there, and then we also have all the headrests in here, so we can also put that on there as well. So this is actually looking pretty nice so far. I'm pretty surprised at the quality for the price that they offer this in. Time will tell how they hold up, but it's definitely better than wearing out your existing seats. If you don't have a leather package like my Jeep right here, I just have cloth seats. This is definitely an upgrade if you want to have that nice leather appearance. So let's head over to the Jeep and see the seats currently as they are right now. So looking inside the Jeep Grand Cherokee right here, as I said before, we got the standard cloth seats with just only a leather center console cover right there. So this is definitely hopefully going to spruce up this interior. We got a little bit of dirt, a little bit of dog hair, so we're going to go through and just vacuum that all out instead of just hiding and covering all that dirt in there. Now on the driver's seat, this is a big area where it likes to wear out as people slide in and out. And as you can see, with this Jeep only being a few years old, it's already starting to show some wear on this outer bolster right here. So hopefully we can cover that up so it doesn't wear through. And taking a look at here in the back, we have the typical 40/60 splits rear seat. Once again, cloth, and we're going to clean this up as well. And we'll be back and get our new seat covers installed. Alright, so a little prep work before we throw these in the vehicle. We have to attach a couple clips and then we can start putting these over the existing seats. First thing, what we're going to do is we're going to start on the front seats. So we got the front backrest right here. For the front seats, they're both the same kind, so they don't have a left or right. So you can use either one. And what we're going to do is install these brown clips right here. They call these chucks. So they got 3 straps on the back here, and we're going to weave these through just like the instructions say. So we're going to go through the slit right here, then through the middle one like that, and then we're just going to attach it just like so. So we got 3 of them on this backrest right here. That's pretty much it for that backrest. Now we'll go and prep the bottom seat cover. And towards the rear of the bottom seat cover, we got 2 more little nylon straps right here, and we're going to do the same thing, put a couple more of these into place. And we're going to flip this around, and on the front here we have 2 more straps, and on this side we're going to use these metal hooks, which we're going to have to fit through where that split is. I'm just going to use the pliers to kind of open this up a little bit. It's going to help it a little bit. And then feed these on, so that way the clip faces up if you were to pull this forward. And then just to kind of close that gap a little bit so these don't come undone, just take a pliers and just kind of gently bend this back into place. We'll do the same thing on the other side. Alright, so now we're going to go and install this on our front seat. We're going to start with our backrest right here first, and we're going to slide this over our back seat and fit it up nicely. Up here on top, this is all Velcro. We're just going to open this up, and we don't have to remove our headrest. Our headrest is just going to pop right through. Now up here on the top, we're going to tuck this back into here, tuck it behind the headrest, and then take the rest of the Velcro and push it into place. Now down below we got our brown clips. We're going to push those through the crack between the bottom seat and the back rest, and then they're going to pop out onto the back side. Now we'll take our bottom seat rest, fit it over from the front first, and then slide it back. Then we'll take our 2 brown clips that we put on, then once again feed it through the crack right here and push it out to the back side of the seat. Before we latch it onto the front, we're going to come to the back side and clip them all in behind the seat. Now on the back side, we're going to pull through on our brown clips, and then what we're going to do is fold them and weave them through the other side, and they're going to sit just like this so it can't pull through. So I'm going to do that to all the clips. And our clip should be just like that, and this flap kind of covers all that up. And then for up front here, we have our 2 hooks. We're going to hook that onto a metal bar that's back there underneath the front seat right here. The hooks that I got are a little bit small for it, but I was able to clip it onto a small bracket that's under there. There's a couple little holes, so it makes it actually a little bit tighter, so it's nice and firm up here. Now lastly, for these seats, they have the headrest right here. It's kind of like a shower cap up here. Not too big of a fan of that design because that doesn't look too good from the back, but it fits over nicely on this. There we have it for our front seats. That actually looks pretty good. It doesn't look too bulky in there. It actually looks like it's kind of a factory seat, especially on the bottom. That fits up pretty nicely. So hopefully these last a long time because I really like these. A little bit baggy up here, but once again, it's going to be a little bit looser until you kind of like wear it into the spots of the seats once you start sitting on these. So now that we got the fronts in, let's go over to the back and get those installed as well. All right, so now looking at the rear seats, we're going to start on the bottoms first. And these actually wrap up a little bit nicer than the fronts in my opinion. These got these little buckles that go through here, so we got our 2 straps. They're going to go through that slit in the back between the backrest and the seat, and then we have the front ones right here are going to go under, and they're going to meet underneath the seats. On the 60-40 split rear seat, we got 1 strap on the 40 section, and once you put this on there, you're going to want to take this strap and kind of weave it through where the buckle is, so that way it kind of holds in the side right there and holds it nice and tight. And basically the same design on our other 60, which is going to be our middle seat and our other side seat. We got 3 straps right here and another one on the side here that we're going to weave into that as well, and that's going to hold everything nice and tight. So I'm going to go and do that next. Feed in our buckles. pull them through underneath. We're going to push this into the gap right here. Got to fit our seat cover all the way around on here. Like I was saying earlier, I'm going to take that side strap and weave it in with our buckles and snap everything into place. Alright, so we got our covers here on the bottom all clipped into place. Now we're going to start over here on the top on the 40 section. So like what I did before, got our clips on the bottom, our 2 straps, and we're going to slide this over here. It's got Velcro opening on the top, so our headrest is going to pop through. And on this side has a zipper. You want to make sure the zipper has stayed open during installation. Now we're going to lean the seat forward and help finish the rest of the installation. We have this little tab here for the cargo area. We're just going to keep that back. Alright, so finishing up in the back over here, once we have all the seat backrests on, I went and zipped up all the seams right here. I guess with this design, you really can't fold down the seats one at a time like how you did before, so you have to kind of do them at both same time unless you unzip here at the seams. And then with our brown plastic clips from our bottom, I pulled those through and then just kind of twisted them before, so they are basically acting like a plug, so they can't fit through the gap, and they kind of rest up here in the crack, and there's a metal bar down in here that that it's going to be pressing up against. But that's pretty much it for the back side. Put this right here, and now we can fold back our seat. So we'll have to do a little bit of adjusting and tucking this in. It is kind of baggy right here. It doesn't fit quite as well as how the front did. And one thing I did notice is that this middle seat belt isn't really functional at all. It's a cutout on top for it, but you really can't bring it over since there's no way of pulling it through since it's all stitched up here. So it's kind of hidden back here. And the only way to do it, I guess, is just to unzip this to do that. So I'm not a big fan of that. For these, they got a little strap in there. But here, these ones actually look nicer from the back side as well, since they don't have that shower cap design. Alright, and there we have it for our rear seat covers. Not too shabby, a little bit baggy because there's a seat belt behind there since you're not able to fit it through that hole, but nonetheless it does look pretty good, and it's going to offer a superior protection compared to just open seats. And on the back over here we do have pockets, which are nice for the back of the passenger and driver's seat. This is what I was talking about, how it's a little bit not as appealing over here on the driver's covers right there from the back side, but it's still going to offer protection for the front and looks great from the front. And to finish it up, went and slid on our center console cover. That's pretty simple, just has 2 straps already on it. You just slide it on there and everything is nicely on that as well. So that's going to do it for the Carvoto seat covers. I want to thank Carvoto for sending these out to me for me to take a look at. Actually very impressed for what you get for the price. There is a couple little flaws in there, but it's not the deal breaker for these. They do look a million times better than the old cloth seats and provide superior protection. There's definitely better ones out there. There's definitely a lot worse ones out there, especially universal ones that are baggy and really don't fit at all. These ones are pretty good for fitting on there. So I'll post an Amazon link below for you guys to pick up a set of Carvoto seat covers for your Jeep. And just like that, that's going to be a wrap for today's quick video. Hopefully I was able to help you guys locate that PCV valve and replace it. It's fairly simple, it's just kind of a weird, awkward place to get behind the engine to replace that. Once again, I'll post a link in the description for the part that I used in this video. If you guys liked this video and found it helpful, make sure to like and subscribe to the Out-Jeeping YouTube channels to help keep these videos coming. If you want to help support the channel, I got some Out-Jeeping decals over on my Etsy store. I'll leave that in the link below. We also got some new Grand Cherokee decals in there as well if you guys want to go and pick some up for yourself. So if you have any questions or comments, make sure to post them below and I'll be happy to get back to you. I want to thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next video.